right. Do we have any lighting designers in the audience? Lighting design? Okay, I did go back to basics, and so we will all be nighttime designers when we're done. Luminous legibility, that's all about understanding where we are at night in the urban and nighttime environment so that we can get somewhere. Not only do we want to get somewhere in the city, but we really want to have a pleasurable experience, whether it's excitable or calm, whether it's about observing and discovering, or whether it's about getting lost. We want to have a wonderful time at night. The black of night is an opportunity for the lighting urbanist to design an environment that is enticing, inclusive, and promotes activity and reflection. You know, what's super interesting to me is this conference has actually given me so much. So I want to applaud the idea of conferencing and workshops. I've actually changed my presentation to incorporate some of the really interesting concepts that I've learned here in regards, for example, to commercialized light. We don't want it. Whereas in other places, let's say the States, we really want some bright spectacle. In Prague, we would like to hold back on the commercialization, for example. And there are many other aspects that I've learned about here that I've infiltrated into the show. So why nighttime design? The idea here is that there are three pillars. Public health, which is all about walking at night and getting out during our discretionary hours when we can choose where to go. Mental health, where we can really connect with people that we perhaps don't know, strangers, or our friends. Social health, mental health. Economic vitality, a real emphasis on cultural venues, music venues, theater, after dark, keeping a later open hours, perhaps. Can we try that? And we can exchange in the sort of commerce of our district. Safety, welcome, the thing we always start with. Oh, Leni, better lighting, we need safety, we're afraid, and everybody's afraid, and dark pockets. Well, I say if we have the economic vitality, open hours, cultural venues, and we have the public health, we've brought people out, they're walking, they're gathering, perhaps the safety will occur automatically with more eyes on the street. Obviously, in emerging economies, we start with safety and we build on the others. But I think in other places where we're kind of people are out and feeling pretty good, we can make safety the last point. Really important, interdisciplinary design team. So instead of calling myself a lighting designer anymore, I say I'm a nighttime designer. Nighttime is an existing condition. There's nothing we can do about it. And that condition engenders different behaviors, different situations, perceptions at night. So let us have an interdisciplinary team to address the entire nighttime condition, a Gesamtkunstwerk. Let's learn from Sydney. Remember learning from Las Vegas? Who knows Denise Scott Brown's and Venturi's book, Learning from Las Vegas? I'm learning from Sydney, and I'm learning from London. Sydney has a program, Open Sydney, which is all about nighttime. Future directions for Sydney at night. And look at all the amazing issues they think they can address with their program for nighttime. Global, connected, diverse, inviting and safe. I said welcome, inviting, and responsive. So responsiveness, global, connecting. Here is a city program. Really exciting. You can download it online. Let's learn from London. Last year, exactly on my birthday, they opened the night tube. It wasn't because of me. It just happened to be my birthday. And they opened the night tube, 24-hour transit, and with the idea that they will create jobs and a better economy. So there are a lot of issues about nighttime economy. A lot of cities and districts and lay people feel that that's only about bars and drinking, but we're going to talk about how the nighttime economy can be greater than that. So their tagline is creating a city that's always open, 24-hour London. They rolled out this wonderful campaign, graphic campaign, with these starry tube stop symbols. And they had newspaper articles, and now they have a night czar. Has anyone heard of these night czar or the night mayor, night ambassador? Anyone heard of that? Yeah? So I say there are night czars, mayors, and czarinas. And here we have Annie Lamé, who's actually a music and performance artist. And this is a kind of ombudsman between the music scene and the loud, drunken scene and all of us. The idea is to have a civil nighttime, a place where anyone can walk on the sidewalks and pavements after dark. Let's talk about light planning or light master plans and strategies. Some of the benefits, just real quickly: the perception of security and safety, an organized visual environment. I've learned actually from you that there is a thing called visual smog. I never heard that term. It's fantastic. The clutter of the environment. Here we can organize previous to design to make sure that we have a coherent and cohesive visual environment, as well as pleasurable. The definition of the character of the streets. Let's define those prior to saying, oh, let's have 10 light poles here. Expression of identity, legibility, as I mentioned at the beginning, and also, P.S., cost-effective. Light pollution. Nobody likes it. I swear. Every talk I give, we must discuss light pollution. And I say no stars were hurt. Is it really pollution? The scientific term is light obtrusion. So let's start to use it. What am I doing over there? I'm coming over here. Light obtrusion. There are several brands of it. There is light trespass. There is sky glow. And there is glare. So let's try and get rid of those issues by doing light planning, creating designations of dark preserves where we have wildlife, for example, photometric modeling before we design. Again, we're not just adding light poles. We are calculating the photometrics, and to save energy, which is also quite important, we'll do the calculations beforehand. So next time you talk to your lighting designer, you know some of the things to ask for. We can also use physical shields, ways of controlling the light. We can also have better optics to light where we mean to light. And we can aim the lights. So all of these things will help this light obtrusion. It really is fixable. It's, however, sometimes a little more expensive. So we'll get into some of the conflicts regarding some of our desires and some of our economic necessities. So here are some challenges that I've brought forth, especially given the people I've talked to here. First of all, how are we going to address challenges for our cities for lighting? We need to create lighting strategies that enhance our other strategies, our tactics about transit, about our mobile society of getting around. We need to augment our idea about districts, if it's a historic district or if it's a booming retail district. We also need to present light and dark to our stakeholders, our citizens, as well as those of us who are making the policies. Do we want more light? Do we want some pockets of dark? That romantic, I was discussing that with one of the architects here, it's much more romantic. Or do we simply want less contrast? And then we need to negotiate lighting conflicts. So the light obtrusion, sometimes to get a better optic, it's more expensive. So is it more important to get people on the street if we can't afford the perfect optic and have some sky glow? Commercialization, spectacle. Is this a quiet zone? Should it be a quiet zone? Or can it be a zone with a light attractor? And then the great, terrible discussion about colored light. May we use colored light in this environment? Or shall we keep it more of a glow? All I'm saying is these are discussions you will have amongst yourself and your stakeholders. Keep the manufacturers out. Talk to your lighting designer and your urban designer, and you will come up with your answers for your light strategy. So I was recently working at Arup, and I've now gone independent. And this is a very good book that you can download if you look for it on the Arup website. We have 3 tools and 3 outcomes for light planning and nighttime design. First of all, let's do the quantitative and the qualitative research. Let's find out how many people are on this street, this district that we are designing. Where are they going? What are they doing? Are they leaning against the lamppost? Or are they going shopping? Are they rushing or are they taking their time? Let's find out who's using our streets. Then let's do qualitative research, which is interviews, surveys, that sort of thing. Let's merge those and create smart lighting. In other words, let's provide the lighting that works best for our neighborhood. If we analyze those shades of night, what people are doing throughout the night, all the way to the morning hours, we will again add to our understanding of what our neighborhood and our district needs. We also, via Arup, have a wonderful kind of in-depth stakeholders interview tool where we decide on our sustainable community objectives that match into our nighttime objectives. You can see those indicators there. So as we've done all the analysis and an envisioning process, which we call the Agile envisioning process, here you see giving a talk up at the top, going on a light walk, which some of us did the other day. That's the mayor, the blonde there, talking about and enhancing our understanding of light, getting a sense of shimmer, glimmer, and glowing, enhancing our vocabulary so that our stakeholders and communities can talk to us and tell us what they'd like to see, and then we as professionals will turn that into a light plan. Here's the beginning of a master plan on the left and some of the kinds of renderings you'll see, and then we do projects, which I'm going to get to in a second. Here's another master plan. And then we had some specifics that we were asked to render. It was a real multicultural neighborhood where lanterns were a through line. So let's do a festival of lanterns. I always say, let's have one light on in every window. Yes, save energy, but also the private light helps us enjoy the changeable routes of the sidewalk, window shopping, transformation instead of the monochromatic street lights, one light. And then we were located at an elevated trainway, and we thought, let's make a giant pancake lantern that allows people to know we are at the subway. Here's another pilot. So that was a master plan, and here's a pilot and a workshop where we are looking at a universal lantern, localizing that with color in Cartagena, Colombia. How can we enhance and magnify the colors of this UNESCO World Heritage Site? And here we've designed these lanterns with the community. These are sketches. Architects, don't get upset. We're not going to do these super, super bright, caricatured lanterns. We're going to take these community sketches and turn them into a professional, beautiful lantern that fits the neighborhood, that the Caribbean pride that we heard about, the colors of the facades, we will enhance those at night. And so I don't think I have a pointer, but on the left is a before, zone in on two things: the street light, the overhead monster with the yellow, and the green facade. Now look to the right and look at that green facade. The vibrance of that green facade is the color that it is. So not only do the light poles get in our way in a little tiny sidewalk and do not enhance our UNESCO World Heritage Site, but they also change the color of our reality, our beauty of our village at night, and make it drab instead of perfectly color correct. So that's called color rendering index. Here's another pilot that I'm working on in Manhattan under the elevated. Again, you see this light walk at the bottom where we're sharing the megaphone with actually planners and public art advisors for the government, working with the Department of Transportation with our cards and our workshop, getting a sense of the language of light before we design. Then finally, you might say, well, gee, Leni, what about some work? What about some real stuff? Can't we make something here? All we're doing is planning and talking and rendering. Well, of course, we want to have these installations. So here are some outcomes. For example, these poles are 30 feet tall, and they look different from every vantage point. Our idea was, can we create a light pole instead of these straight things that looks different for the people walking, the people driving, and every angle, and brings us to the waterfront. We also create inspiring plazas, soft white light, or immersive colored light at a performing arts complex. Let's give our visitors an experience of the stage for themselves in the plaza. And finally, infrastructure. That's why we're here. I would like to transform infrastructure at night. It can be the plain Jane during the day, exactly how it looks, although we could potentially resurface it. But at night, let's have it be a new place. Let's have these things that make our cities work come to us in a new way at night. So these girder-type bridges, old, engineering architecture, I call it. The color accents the form of the spans of the trusses, the stringers, I'm too nervous, the flanges, the shadows, the light, all tell us how these are made. And I think in our world we should understand the infrastructure, whether it's an ephemeral infrastructure of a lighting system or a hard infrastructure of a bridge or a water treatment plant. So the main message for you today is, what is your vision? Can you envision light? Can you speak to yourself of what you prefer? I have a glare right in my eyes because they're taping me. Can I say, that's glary? Can I say, I see everyone because of the light in here? Can you begin to speak to yourself about the light that you see so that you can share that with your neighbors and your community to create a wonderful visionary light plan? Thank you.